So as you guys know, Colin Kaepernick started a vicious debate in the United States of America after he decided to take a knee during the national anthem prior to NFL games in order to protest, police brutality in the United States. And a lot of Republicans and conservatives just absolutely fucking lost their shit. Now, we have news today that the NFL has decided that if an NFL player decides to take a knee during the national anthem, they will be fined. Now, the caveat to that is if you don't want to be outside on the field during the anthem, you can stay inside. And so I've come to realize that if you want to trigger a conservative or Republican, you shit on either the national anthem or the flag, because they have this very unhealthy fetish for the flag and this false patriotism and the national anthem. And instead of, praising what they stand for, not the national anthem, by the way, it doesn't stand for anything, what the flag stands for, they care more about the piece of fabric itself. And so, regardless of the fact that the First Amendment and the whole purpose of a democracy really is to be able to protest. In a democracy, the burden is on the people to basically criticize the fuck out of your own government, because that's how a democracy thrives. That's what makes a democracy superior to other governments, is the constant barrage of criticism that it gets in order to be able to maintain itself and to constantly be bettering itself. And so protesting is one of the, core key principles, and the idea that by protesting, by kneeling during the national anthem is somehow, it's a straw man by saying, oh, you're attacking our, armed forces, which is complete bullshit. As Kaepernick says, he goes, I have many family members who are in the army. That's not what I'm doing. I'm using this as my means of protesting, which is great. It's a peaceful protest, and it's obviously very effective. It's very, powerful, and it's gotten its message out there. So, this is something. Okay, so here's essentially what my opinion is on this issue. So, apparently Vince McMahon is going to be making the XFL. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition, and if it is, I don't know when it's going to come to fruition. But my opinion on this issue is, and I'm a big NFL fan. I'm a ginormous NFL fan. I want to let you guys know that I'm a big Saints fan, big-time Saints fan. This past season, I watched almost every game on every Sunday night, every Sunday, sorry. And, if it was a Monday night or Thursday night game, I watched it. We had the heartbreaking loss of the Vikings in the playoffs. So, what I think is this, because, I'm also a big fan of the NBA, and I remember when I was even a kid, when I would watch NBA, whenever the national anthem would come on, I would mute the TV because it just sounds so bad. The song is ass, and I don't know why, people love this song so much, because the song sounds like complete shit. And if this was really anything good, we would be able to play it, but I don't understand why we're playing the national anthem during a sports event. There's no reason to do so. And I know that the NFL has a lot of its advertising for the armed forces, but that's only because the DoD, the Department of Defense, has been funneling money to the NFL to do these advertising gigs for them, and that's really the only reason why. There's no reason for the national anthem to be playing during this game. It's a fucking sporting event. There's no reason for that to be played. So here's my opinion. I think that the anthem shouldn't be played at all. But I think that if you're going to play the anthem, the players should be able to kneel. Now, free speech warriors, people like Dave Rubin, who've completely failed on this issue, by the way, they should be coming out in favor of the players. And I'll tell you why. Free speech as a principle is different from the constitutionality of it. So, a lot of people say, oh, look at the Constitution when it comes to defending Kaepernick, which is totally wrong. The Constitution, the First Amendment does not apply to private businesses. That's to the government, saying that the government can't infringe upon your free speech. So, that's a dumb shit argument. But the people who constantly claim free speech is a principle, not just a law. So, free speech as a principle is, I want you to have freedom of expression and speech, regardless of the First Amendment and things like that. Even though that doesn't apply, free speech is a principle, and that's what they want. They want free speech as a principle. And so if you're not coming out in favor of this, you're essentially a free speech fighting fraud, is what I want to say. Free speech fighting fraud in quotations. But, if you're going to play the national anthem, they should be able to kneel. However, in my opinion, the national anthem should not be played. First of all, the song is shit. I can't hear it. I don't like it. I want to turn it off. It's shit. Play a good song. I don't know, play a good song. Don't play the national anthem. Number two, there's no reason for a national anthem to be being played before a sporting event. It makes no sense, has nothing to do with the sporting event itself. It's so dumb. But I think the most dangerous thing is this false sense of patriotism. The idea that taking the flag and shoving it up your ass is somehow patriotic rather than somebody who's protesting, taking part in democracy, literally, doing the things that were some of the founding principles of the United States. The First Amendment. The first fucking amendment applies the principle of free speech, and they're using that in order to protest what's going on in their own country. And they value that less than them shoving the flag up their ass, because I swear to you, they love the flag so much they would keister it, they would fuck themselves with it. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, they wear apparel like it, even though the flag code is against that and all this other stuff. It's just ridiculous, man. Just stop the nonsense. It's sort of like the fetish for the United States has with guns. This is pretty fucking similar. Now, the thing is, patriotism isn't bad as long as it's not nationalistic. So what I mean by that is, if you're like, you're someone who believes in patriotism for the United States, which is diversity, democracy, things like that, things of that nature, freedom of speech, that's great. That's fine. But when you're using false patriotism that is completely just bullshit, where you're saying, oh, your protests are somehow against the armed forces, which is complete bullshit, you're just lying straight out of your asshole. It's so dumb. And that logic doesn't uphold with anything whatsoever. When you're taking a knee, not only are you not doing that, you're actually, being part of democracy. You're doing more than the person taking a flag and shoving it up their ass, because you're actually participating in your country's government and your democracy. So, my opinion is, don't play the national anthem, but if you're going to, for whatever fucking reason, allow them to kneel. That's what I think.